Episode 12,
3 months.
uh, blind spots. Oh, 3 months. Yeah, man. That's quite a bit of consistency. I always appreciate the consistency. I hope y'all appreciate the consistency. Oh, there's one thing I was thinking, listening back. We don't ever put our handles here. I know it's in the title, but I'm Robert. I actually don't usually like Bobby in the normal sense. There was actually a guy that called me Bob on the phone earlier. And I was like, my name's Robert. And he just kept like saying Bob, like he was doing it on purpose, like jabbing at me. And I was like, that's my grandfather. That's not me.
Right.
But someone gave me the name on Twitter a long time ago about making music. And so I was like, I needed a good handle. And the handle I was going with at the time was one of those pre-made handles when you get like an AOL email or
Had the
something. They're like,
numbers running behind it.
yes, here's five suggestions you could use for your email address. So I went with the one that I liked. I was like Tampa Rob 12 in middle school. Then I was like Big Robbie Kid. The three and the eight. Three was for Allen Iverson. Eight was for Bean. So I figured I'd put those together for 38. That's where I came up with that number. Then I had some other shit, and then it ultimately landed on Bobby Bronze, which I thought looked the best aesthetically,
Yeah.
like visually seeing it at Bobby Bronze looked the best. So little backstory behind the handle. I know that's not what you guys asked for, but if you ever wanted to know, that is
Everyone
where
to
it
know.
came from. It was a DM, and a guy was buying beats from me, and he said, "Man, your beats remind me of like 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 some LeBron James shit." So that's where he came up with the bronze part. And a lot of people don't know, like, because my last name is Ebron. So they
Oh,
think that it's that, but it's like LeBron James with making beats. And that's where he came up
wow.
with Bobby Bronze. And so I was like, okay. And he didn't know my last name. And I was like, oh, this is dope because this is kind of my last name too.
Yeah.
So when he gave me that, I was like, oh, I'm changing my everything. My gamer tag is that, my Instagram, my Twitter. So at Bobby Bronze, follow it. A lot of cool clothes on there that I like. A lot of cool
Yes,
food on
sir.
there. A lot of cool traveling on there. I was just looking at traveling shit today, so that's
He's a,
very fun.
he's a good follow, people. He's a good follow.
Yeah.
Mine is not Patrick Hughes. I don't have no cool story behind that. I just keep changing my names. It was Jesus for a little bit because I used to call myself Jesus.
A long time
Uh,
ago, I remember
long,
that.
long, long time ago. Then it was outside jacuzzi because Tyree had said something and one time, and it translated to outside jacuzzi. I don't know. I don't have any cool story. I really don't. And then we landed on not Patrick Hughes. So I was like, I needed something uniform, and Patrick Hughes was taken. So I was just like, all right, well, we'll just go not Patrick Hughes. But like Ron said, it's the same on across socials. So Twitter, gamertag, anywhere you can find me at not Patrick Hughes.
By the way, I totally love when there are like ironic handles like that. So like you are Patrick Hughes,
Totally
but your
Patrick Hughes.
Instagram is not Patrick Hughes, or like when it's like a ridiculously large guy and they call him tiny. Like I love that shit, or mini or shit like that. Also, there's a stylist that does a lot of the like Real Housewives of Atlanta and just a lot of women in Atlanta. And his name on Instagram is No IG Jeremy. And I know that started when people would want tags from people and they would be tagged and then they would just put in there like this person doesn't have an IG, but the cool
Yeah.
hashtag would be like no IG this person's name. So his Instagram name is actually no IG Jeremy. He's also a great follow. A lot of the women that if you watch those shows, that's how me and Alex bonded on those shows. So a lot of the stylists or a lot of the style. Oh, you know what he also did? I think he did the entire cast of the Best Man Holiday Chronicles or the Best Man Chronicles,
Oh,
the
that
show.
was the show.
Yeah, they had like an essence shoot, I think,
Mm,
and he styled the entire shoot. So if you see those pictures,
fire.
very beautiful pictures. All the women on there, they're making 50 different today. I don't know if you guys have seen that. 50 just looks a little bit different. So they very beautiful women, handsome gentlemen, good clothes. Yeah. So get your fix if you're a closeted uh black person lover, or if you just proudly proclaim it like us. Um, you'll get your issue in that issue of essence. But yes, follow those tags. Um,
Shout
that's
out
how
to
we're gonna
the
start this.
shout out to the closeted the closet
Yeah,
black people. Shout out to y'all.
because
Come on out.
even because
Come on out.
to be fair, like they see it.
They do.
How do you see? Was it Melissa D'Souza, Nia Long, Sanaa Lathan, and Regina? I was getting
Hall.
mixed up. King,
Hall.
Hall. Though
Yeah.
Regina King too, beautiful. But it's
She
those
was
four.
nice.
There's no way you could see all four and be and like I personally don't like y'all, but is it enough for me to look at y'all and be like, it's not something I don't find aesthetically pleasing here? A lot of hair, lot of sheen, a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
lather.
yeah. I think that's the thing people realize. Like we be glistening low key. Everybody look like
There's a lot
Xerxes
of
and shit.
lather. That's my favorite word. I think what's his name? What's Rap Radar? There's Elliot Wilson and B Dot. B Dot.
Beat up.
I saw him say that, and it was B Dot was just being nasty in the comments, and I love to see my friends in the likes or in the comments. I love seeing that shit, and so he's not my friend, but I saw him. He's like looking real lathered, and I was like,
Like
that's an interesting way to put that, but I feel
aha.
him though. Okay, so yes, they are a lot of lather, and if y'all are closeted, I get it, but there's no way you see those four women and don't think that there's something that you can appreciate. Shout out to the motherland.
Shout out
Shout
to
out
the
to Shea Butter.
oh
Um,
yeah, Shea Butter
a
works.
lot of Shea Butter, a lot of Shea Butter. Shout out to black owned brands and
Tea
black owned
tree
stylists.
oil.
That's another good one. That's another good one. Yeah, it has like a lot of times it has like a little pepperminty kind of
Yeah.
smell, and it's
Got a little mint to it. Yeah.
yeah, the mixture of those smells together is like a natural aphrodisiac for me. It's like I don't have to see that there's black women in here, but
You can tell Shea Butter in the room. The grape seed. What you
somebody
got in your hand,
is
girl?
some is there some culture here? Like it's not a lot of us here, but that smell is this. It's
I,
like when my grandma mixes Halston and fucking aromatic elixir. Like when you mix those two together, that's my grandma's scent. And
hey,
so I remember she came one time from North Carolina, and when I go there, my stuff always smells like her when I come back. And um, she was trying to surprise us, and I walked in and I smelled her, and I was like, "We haven't been to North Carolina in such a long time. I smell my grandmother.
why do I
That's
smell
weird.
this?
She's got to be here, right? There's no way she's here." And that was the giveaway. She was absolutely here. So, yeah, my nose will bring me to the black woman
That shit like
for lack of a better term.
it's like the Looney Tunes shit where you get picked up by the smell
Yeah,
and you just
you just
float
drag like
on
this,
over.
right to wherever the motherland is. But anyways, great intro. I'll start. I guess I'll start with the week. Didn't feel like doing a whole lot of running. Um, my dad just sent me some shit about DeSantis, ironically enough. Uh, but didn't feel like doing a lot of running. Was tired, so I took some time off. I'm right up against a deadline of like I was doing this 100K challenge.
Yeah.
So you had to run 100K in a month, and I am, which is about 62 miles, and I'm at 58. So I've got about 3 hours to knock this little bit of time out, which is not going to take that long to do 4 miles. Though
Yeah.
I really have to run 8, but I've been just kind of dragging my feet, and so I'll knock it out. So that would be a big accomplishment because it's like that's a lot of miles in a month, which technically, I guess if you broke it down, it would be like 2 miles a day, which
Yeah.
isn't the craziest amount. It's 20 minutes. But yeah, that was it. I what else did I do? I I set up some travel shit for supposed to go into something at in Jupiter, family reunion for Alex. Had to lock some shit in there. Was stressed out about the Miami Heat. That
Gotta
was a
get it
big
done
thing.
done.
And so that probably took a lot of my time. And then there was Memorial Day. Uh,
Memorial Day.
made some smoked some beef ribs. That's
The big
always a good
joints.
thing. Yeah, not no, because I couldn't. I was waited too late. So these were like little cheap ones. They were still good, but it wasn't. It was relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
I have the big slate joints. You have
Yeah.
to like you got to buy those, and they're expensive. I was like, I ain't really trying to spend that much money, but I'll probably at some point I'll go to Atlanta and
Yeah, you hit
I
that Hattie
forget I
Marie's up.
forget. Yeah, Hattie Marie, she got the Dino joint. I think it's like $50. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll splurge or whatever. Did you
Yeah.
ever find a barbecue that
Look,
one time you mentioned it?
did I really what?
You
Oh,
mentioned that you were
oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did. But it was not like it wasn't no nigga shit. It was like very much like I'll say the same tier as Sonny's. Like it was
okay, so
it was
like
barbecue,
fast
but it was
casual.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So it was cool. It was cool. I wasn't mad at it, but it was just like I wanted the nigga shit. Like, but I think the thing is being up here, I actually have to go to where the niggas at.
Yeah,
And
just because you're a little up north.
yeah, I'm north, so right. I'm with all like the Spanish community, right? So like I got hella chicharrones, but
Mm,
yeah, I want ribs, but like outside of the AutoZone ribs, like
yeah,
I want those ribs. I don't want to stand alone unless it's gonna be like what's dude Rodney? I
yeah. The one
forgot.
that tweeted,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
the one I sent you rather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if it's something like that that's standalone, then I'll go for that. Or like a Hattie Marie's, of course. But yeah, these like pop up chains. That's just like okay, I can get some ribs. It's like all right, you go ahead and get them, and it's like okay, this is a rib. It's
yeah.
not like it's
You
not.
you rolling the dice too. Like, and this could be fire. This could be whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you know what? When it comes down to barbecue, I just have to take that. I gotta take the ride. Like I gotta take that 40 minute. You know what I'm saying? Bop to the other side of Atlanta, and
Or eat it on the Uber. Eat it on the Uber. Like that might be the one too, because sometimes, like I got Uber one, so I get the delivery fees out of it. But
mm,
eat, and then they always give you like a coupon or
but
something.
yeah, it's worth it. I also think I would have to make myself order Uber if I had Uber One, because I don't do it
So,
enough.
but see, here's the thing: when you get the Uber one, they're gonna literally. So this is one of those Robert hacks. You can go ahead and put this in here. It's a Robert hack right here. So if you get American Express Gold, right?
Bingo.
They give you $10 back, or they give you $10 every month to pay for. I'm sorry, the first year they gave it to you for free, but now they'll give you pay for it for $10, right? But they give you $10 in Uber credit, so it's free essentially, right?
Incredible.
So they're gonna give you $10 every month to pay for the Uber. Well, they give you $10 in Uber cash, so that's $10 off. And then Uber One, literally every month, I'm gonna pull up my shit so that everybody can see this shit. If you ain't using Uber One, they ain't paying me, but this shit is too goddamn good to pass up. You get a coupon like this, 40% off, up to $15.
What?
This makes it worth it.
What?
So you'll fuck around and get obviously like $40 worth of shit, and quick math will tell you that's close to $7 off, and you're not paying the delivery fee, right? So you're getting the money off, which with the money off and not paying the delivery fee, it might actually break even. So it's like um, at that point, really, it's like, do I drive there or
Do I
do
waste
I
my
Uber it?
gas or do I just
Yeah.
Uber it?
Even after the tip, you're gonna probably break even, or it might be a little bit cheaper. You might catch a BOGO. Cause we just ordered we just got
Mm.
some gelato, and we just ordered $40 worth of gelato for like after tip and taxes was $25. And that was a generous tip by me, like a really, really generous tip. It was raining. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hook them up. But we just bought $40 worth of gelato for $25 at the tip. That's Uber One shit. So BOGO plus the code and the tip. So yeah,
My
at that point,
brother, my brother, my brother.
what the fuck? I'm never driving anywhere. That will make you buy. That will make you use Uber at least once a month.
Keep them coming. Keep the hacks coming. We need them.
Then, like I said, that $10 back. So now think of it. That $25 I spent, take $10 right off of it because at the top of the month, so that's tomorrow, I'm gonna get a $10. Now I really gotta order Uber at this point. I gotta spend the $10. So at that point, and most of the time, what I usually use it for, like if I'm out of town,
Yeah.
um, I get them to like because one of those big things for my travelers is like it's like water, like one thing I realized like when I went to like university was like you don't think about water until you like don't have it. So like you're so used to being in your parents' house, there's probably water in your refrigerator, you got a Brita pitcher on your filter on your sink,
Yeah.
but like you ain't got no that in a dorm, so you always have water handy, obviously. So when you're in a hotel, they might, if you're a part of a reward program, they might give you a bottle, but usually hotel water is dumb expensive. That have ice, but they never have water on the floors. So I'll have them Uber like from a convenience store or something, and I'll just get
Yeah.
them to send like a few liter bottles or a 12 pack or something like that, because that should get you through your a few days stay. And now it's cheap. You're getting your $10 off. It's gonna bring it to you. You ain't gotta find it. In
Oh,
this
boy.
it because you gotta find a Target or something. So that's
Oh,
something
well.
that I like to do with that.
That's really if y'all I don't know if y'all keeping track. They're really three hacks in one. That
Yeah,
ain't even the same hack. They're like three hacks all in one hack. It's like part A, B, and C.
yeah. Get the hacks because you need the water and then man, at the end of the day,
You
I
need to
don't
stay.
know. So
You need to stay
I always
dehydrated.
ask Alex, like I'll be like, man, am I just making a lot more money? Because we we basically grew up kind of together, like in like like 10 years. So like you've been through like what it looked like before and like what it looks like now. And so I'll ask her like, am I like making so much more money to where like I just don't care anymore about certain shit? Or, am I like or is this just like elevation or whatever? And she's like, it's both. Like, yeah, you probably being a little bougie, but like at the end of the day, it's like it's useful. And
You
I said
earned it.
that to say, spend that $10 on that Uber One if you got it. It's like realistically, I get it. $10 a month. Like, do I really want to add another subscription? No, but you could probably get rid of some of those things. Like,
It's trade offs. It's trade offs. You gotta have a
like,
trade off.
some like think about how much excitement in your life you actually get from Netflix. Like, there might be a series that comes in, you might binge that shit in a weekend, but
But
for the most
that's
part,
that's what I was gonna say
was
though.
that
So that Paramount Plus, that
yeah.
Paramount Plus, and that Showtime, whatever you got. Look, Barry over with now. Barry's done. Ain't nothing really coming on Paramount Plus, and if it do, you can just get it back from whoever you got it from. You know what I'm saying? Just get it from somebody
They
that
gonna
you
send
know.
you an email like, "Hey, we want you back. Here's $3 a month for the next three
It ain't
months."
gonna be nothing. It's gonna be like whenever the next like Top Gun movie come out or something. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever the next Tom Cruise movie drop, then they gonna put it on Paramount Plus. They gonna actually come back. So go ahead and drop the Paramount Plus. Go ahead and drop the Showtime. They your $10. I freed you $10.
Yeah, and it's so you think about like how much those streaming apps actually make you happy, like on a whole, and then think about like Uber Eats. Like like I just said, I just ordered gelato, guys. Like I just got gelato sent to the door. It was lemon, which was ridiculous. It was vanilla, which I'm a basic bitch, so I love vanilla. And then it was black cherry. Like, come on, like spend that. I do shit like valet parking, and it's like, bro,
You gotta do the
they
valet
gonna
parking.
charge, they gonna charge you to park anyways.
Yeah. They,
So.
it is what it is. So you damn right. They're gonna charge you to park either way. So
Oh my, the self park or valet. So do you want to have to find your car? Or do you want them to find the car? Yeah, if you got something nicer, maybe you don't want to take it to them. I feel like they sometimes like I hear my car before I see it, and I'm like, okay, motherfucker, don't be trying to gas my shit. Like I was like, oh, there go your car, and you can't see it, and you just hear it, and I'm like, okay, the motherfucker's a little too happy with my shit, but yeah, if you got something nicer, maybe be a little. Don't bring the nice joint out when you go to valet, but do the valet do the valet. And sometimes it be complimentary. You just gotta hook them up with a little
that's a
tip, $3,
that's a fact.
$4.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Or you get validated parking when you go in a restaurant. So they're like, just hold on to your ticket. They'll stamp it, validate it, give them your tip, and now you ain't gotta find your car. So that's perfect. Anyways, a lot of good pleasantries, a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes,
And
sir.
that was literally freestyling. But all right. Now there was something that was kind of on my heart a little bit, and I'll
Oh
start there.
yes. Oh yes.
So one thing I didn't. So I'll ask you because you're bigger into movies. Are you hip to review bombing?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that that was a thing. So when I
Yeah.
when I saw the title, when I saw it, and it was like Little Mermaid review bombed, and I was like, okay, well I'm guessing this is probably not a good thing. So I Googled it and I saw that different platforms have because at first I was just thinking like I was in my feelings and I was like, man, they're like trying to kill this movie, because it's a black lead for something that was historically not, I guess, black or whatever. Though it's a mermaid, it's not even real, but whatever. Um, and so I was like, okay, they just created some new shit for us. They get creative with the hate. So I'm thinking,
That's facts. They
oh,
do.
they came up with some new shit, and then I looked at it and I was like, okay, so things have been review bombed, and actually, I'm hip to review bombing myself. Um, Aisha Curry had a restaurant called International Smoke, and it was in Houston, and the Houston Rockets, I think, blew like a 3-1 lead or some crazy shit, and I just remember going to the Yelp because I was going out to Houston, and I was like, oh, maybe we can go to International Smoke. I was trying to set up some shit for a date night. And it was like 1 star, right? I was like, what the fuck? There's no way Aisha Curry's restaurant's this bad.
It's just
And so
bad.
then I go through the comments and people are just saying bad things about her husband. Her husband, obviously, Steph Curry, and that happened to Slutty Vegan, I think, when they fed the hospital in the pandemic or something like that, and then D Wade and Gabrielle Union. Oh no, that's what happened. They got review bombed for something. Gabby and Wade paid a lot of meals to Grady,
Yeah.
and because it was during the pandemic, and there was one other thing. Oh, the guys who created Diet Start Monday, they had a restaurant in DC,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a drink called the Pill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, and it had like fake candy pills in it, and they were getting killed for that. And
That's in
I
poor
think Yelp.
taste.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yelp ended up like turning off the comments, or they did that for these people, and I was like, oh man, I didn't think it was ever that serious. Like I personally, I'm not someone who um puts a lot of reviews on shit
Right.
unless it's really really good, and they ask me to, like like if it says, hey, do you want to leave a review? But I'm not usually into that. But yeah, it was interesting that apparently this movie is getting review bombed.
It's getting review bombed, and IMDb had to like post a disclaimer and like change the metric by which they actually like accept ratings, because I guess it's gotten so out of hand. But I mean, it's a long time coming though. Just like my first experience with it is it's around the same time. Um, I can't even say that. It's a little bit earlier. It's around. I'll say I don't know if you're up on Star Wars, but it was around Star Wars time, right? And
Like when they
back,
were bringing it back with John Boyega.
yeah, Yep, John Boyega run.
Okay.
So it was the second movie. Ryan Johnson directed it. That's the same guy that does Glass Onion, the Janelle
Okay.
Monae
Oh,
joint. So yeah, he directed it. It's probably one of the best Star Wars movies ever. It's one of the best movies that has the title Star Wars. It's not like a good Star Wars movie, if that makes any sense. Like it's like actually one of the worst movies for Star Wars, but it's a fun movie to watch. Um,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, so because that movie, rubbed everybody the wrong way, for just directorial reasons, and they didn't like some of the script decisions. Uh, they bombed Solo. Star Wars was doing, like they were going back and like giving the original characters backstory movies and stuff before they started doing the shows. So they were like filling in the gaps with movies. So
Mm-hmm.
they review bombed Solo. They didn't go see Solo. They gave it the worst reviews. They did all this extra stuff because they were so mad about the Last Jedi. Now, that was my first experience with it, where I was like, y'all just gonna blow up the whole shit because y'all ain't like the last movie. Like, what? Y'all ain't gonna give them another at bat? Um, but yeah, that was my first experience with it, and then since then, and it's really just fandom shit to what I've seen in the movie space, where it's just like a lot of the fanboys, they go out of their way to be uh like overly harsh about shit. And that's why I was telling you, we talked about Quantum Mania. And I was like, well, people gotta realize this shit is a comic book movie. So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like it's expect some cartoon shit to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a movie based on fantasy
It's for
drawing.
kids.
Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. And I understand that you like to tell dramatic stories with these, and it's a medium that everybody can enjoy, but ultimately it's a cartoon. So like relax, like chill. You're doing the most. And it just, like everything else in fandom and fanboy shit, it just spirals and spirals and spirals, and then it becomes people's true colors start showing out, and it's like, oh no, now I'm being racist. So
Mm-hmm.
and then that's what happened with the Buzz Lightyear movie. It happens to Disney a lot because Disney is seen as like the quintessential
Liberal.
like children's brand, and
Yeah.
they are very liberal, as
Yeah.
liberal as a $1 billion company can be. Um, you know, they like to do all the diversity, equity, inclusion things. Like to have, gay characters now. A lot of the, people of color were getting their movies and everything like that. So in all of these cases, everybody's just being like, "Oh no, fuck this movie. Oh, we're not going to see this movie. Oh, why are you, grooming our children with this? Why are you doing it?" It's just like, I remember they had like a gay monster in a movie. It was man, it's Onward. The movie's called Onward, and they had the gay monster. And they like it. They mentioned it in the way that Disney mentions it 2-3 years ago. So it would just be like, oh yeah, the character who's obviously a female says, "My wife is at home." That's that's it. So because that moment happened, they review bombed the whole movie, and it's just like, y'all, like it turns into something that becomes like about your love for source material, and then it
Yeah.
turns into like your hatred for a group of people, and now it's reared its head towards, Chloe Bailey and Little Mermaid, where it's just like there's so many things to hate on in this movie that I haven't even seen the movie yet, and I already pointed out things to hate on it. Honestly, like I don't like the way the crab looked. He was a lobster in the movie. I understand why you got to turn him into a crab, but I don't like the way he looked, and I don't like David Diggs' voice as the crab. So I could hate on that, but it's just like it's put here to entertain me. So I'm just gonna either be entertained or I'm not. I'm gonna go watch it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll make my decision then. But like it just seems like it seemed like that whole we on Twitter and we yelling to into the void. Like it's like, what do you like? They gonna make this shit anyway. Now that they know, now that y'all being so obvious with it, now they just gonna ignore you. Like they're not even gonna like they're not gonna take into consideration. There goes the rest of your fan service for the rest of these movies. Like they don't give a shit no more. They're just like, okay, well these motherfuckers can't be satisfied. We're just gonna make what we want to make.
That
You know what I'm
happened
saying?
similar to the stuff that's happened in Target.
What
Or
happened at
something.
what happened at
It's
Target?
some, it was something about some. I don't know that much on it, but it was some collection they had for kids with the LGBTQ or whatever the case may be, and
And
people
they
were
pressed
like,
it though.
for yeah, and then I think they dialed it back a little bit. Um, I do find it interesting because you did mention DEI, um, and diversity, inclusion, or equity and inclusion. And I saw a tweet earlier this week, and a buddy of mine he retweeted it, and the guy was talking about how Chick-fil-A hired a VP for DEI, and his tweet said, and I'm just going to read exactly from him. It's only a matter of time until they start putting tranny semen in the frosted lemonade at this point. And yeah, I thought that was I
What did
thought
you
that was
say,
it.
nigga?
Yeah. So
What?
yeah, they just have to take it really far. But the interesting part I did think was, they wanted to be a depiction of like what's today. And I'll be honest, I remember at one time I did get kind of slightly caught up in like, yo, it does feel like it's being pushed a little bit. And then I
Yeah,
thought, well, okay, like we're around literally gay people every day. So
and
like they make up a portion, just like when they pushed black people to be in commercials and stuff, like we're around black people every day. It only makes sense to advertise with them in shit because your chances are you're probably going to see a black person using this or engaging in this or whatever.
yeah.
So if there's gay people or anybody a part of the community, like that is like that's just a depiction of the world. Like that just
It
kind of makes sense.
Everybody's not gay. It's a character.
Yeah, yeah.
That's literally that. So it's like that's the world. Everybody's not gay. There's just a gay person. Like you know a gay guy, you know a gay lady. So we're gonna give them some representation and give them a couple characters in this movie about like we're I don't even remember what Strange World was about. I don't remember because the movie was trash. It was review bomb, but it sucked either way. But it was only gonna get like 5 out of 10 anyway. But it got less than that because everybody was like, "Oh, we don't want to see these gay people on the screen." Like, y'all, relax. Like, I just don't get it at the certain like. And it's not just. It is really not just with movies and media and Little Mermaid and Disney. They boycotting Bud Light right now because
Chick-fil-A.
like it's just like and Chick Fil A needs diversity, equity, inclusion. They
Yeah,
need it because
yeah.
they're
There's
having their
other
own
reasons for
issues.
us. I said there's other reasons for us to not eat the chicken. Like to be fair,
And that's what
like
I'm saying,
and
bro. Like that,
I
like
don't
just
think I've had Chick-fil-A in a little while because of that. I was
that was
gonna
a
use up the
real
rest of my
bro.
gift cards, and I was like, listen, shock therapy for gay people, it's a little crazy. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I feel I'm my bad, y'all. I'm a bad ally. I jumped shit. I went back. I went back. They be hitting. They be hitting. I
hey,
can't.
they got
You know what I'm
DEI
saying?
now, so they
I
trying.
need. Yeah. They trying. They trying to get it together. But that's on me. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be bad. I gotta be stronger than that. I'm telling you right now, bro. I was in Publix grocery shopping today. Grocery shopping is the worst thing to do when you're hungry. And I'm like on this kick. I'm not. I'm trying not to eat fried food right now. I'm trying my best to not eat nothing fried.
And you
Um,
walk past the deli.
Boy, because
Same
that
scent
it
that you
be.
was talking about with black people. As soon as you walk in, you be like, "Oh, they just dropped that motherfucker for real.
Oh my god, bro! And it was
They
like it
just
was like
dropped
right
that
around.
bitch."
It was like right around lunchtime, but it's like boxes and boxes and boxes coming, and I'm just like, oh my god, this shit smell crazy. I'm hungry. I'm supposed to have lunch
My
today. They probably
flesh
giving me
is
the whole
weak
boy. Bitch, let me get the fuck on out of here. Let me get on out of here before I fuck up.
because those
Cause
chicken wings, the spicy joints, and they're big
uh,
wings. Like they're not the little ones.
and bro, then like it's like breaded, non-breaded. You could get the shit in the sauce. You don't gotta get the sauce. They got it now, man. Anyway,
Spicy, regular.
you know, they be hitting. I mean, because even then, Publix is somebody that honestly should be review bombed by niggas. Because they built a new Publix next to my gym, and you know, of course, the owner, co-owner or whatever, the lady, she's not the founder, but her family founded it.
Like
Um,
yeah, like a daughter or
Yeah,
niece or something.
you know she was funding the campaign for Trump and funding some January 6 things, and she's into all that.
Yeah,
And you know, I feel like that's reason enough to not engage. But
yeah.
the, you know, the, the
They
chicken is
did come
fire.
out like they came out and they were like, "Look, she ain't got no affiliation with us," which I mean they're
And
supposed to do.
I took that.
But
I honored
yeah,
that and said thank you. But not like I guess what I brought that point up to say is because she's just the what makes
yeah,
me look at them sideways. But
of
when they
course.
built the new one up at the gym, they had signs posted about like no protesting, no picketing, no. And I'm like, that's very odd for a grocery store to have like you
Wasn't
know how
nobody even thinking about that bitch ass nigga. Like,
no,
we just
like
wanted to come in here and see
I'm
what.
here for the chicken. Like
Yeah,
I'm here for the chicken in the BOGO. So I wasn't even thinking about that. But now, I want to turn around, but y'all still got the chicken and y'all still got the BOGOs. So you know what I'm saying? They got a gluten free BOGO. My baby gluten free. I gotta do what I gotta do, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm
fair.
sorry. But yeah, not a review bombing thing is a little wild. Everybody should just kind of get a grip. I think people it comes down to people being afraid and losing that grip on being a dominant I guess demographic in society. But other people can have representation. We're not it is what it is. It's adequate representation. The Target did do they're a part of that 15% pledge where 15% of their business is I think black owned business or people of color. But that's black people are what 13% of the population, so it's a little bit
Yeah,
over, over representation of what we represent in America. But it's a good initiative to have. It's a good thing to do, and it shouldn't be a thing where people are getting like you're trying to shut down businesses because they're making shirts. They're making pride shirts for like in kid sizes. People got gay parents, and sometimes guess what? People kids gay, so they can have pride in a family. They can have pride in themselves. They can have pride in their friend who is gay. That they can have pride. Just they can just like the rainbow. Damn it! Like it's not y'all.
I just bought a rainbow shirt
Relax.
from Urban Outfitters. So
It just doesn't it just doesn't make any sense. And the crazy thing is, it's like it's always these hyper Christians, these evangelicals, and it's like y'all,
mm,
if the rainbow is something that means something for Christianity, it should still mean that regardless of what the world does with it, regardless of what another community does with it, it should
just like
still
they tell us
mean
about the red hat.
like and that's what it is. Like it's certain I can't even say it, but it's certain iconography, whatever I'm trying to say. It's certain things that are fixtures in your mind and it means what it means regardless. So anytime I see as a Christian, anytime like I have a double meaning because I know what it means, as far as Christianity goes, and I know what it means as far as the community goes. But at the end of the day, it's a rainbow. Like, y'all, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a colorway, it's a spectrum, it's a like there's so many different ways you can break it down. It don't mean all that. It's not. It doesn't warrant you know you being up in arms and causing all this hell and stressing out other people whose job it is to just make product. Like you don't want the product, don't buy it. It's that simple. Is you don't want to see the movie, don't go see it. But don't try to like review bomb it or get it taken down. It's not harming you. It's not doing anything harmful.
Yeah,
For the things that actually require harm, the things that cause harm, those things need to be, removed. But
yeah,
for the things that you just don't like, with Little Mermaid, Strange World, Buzz Lightyear, character changes, characters added, certain clothing, certain different bottles for a certain month. Relax. Nobody's complaining, and I think you brought this up, or nobody's complaining about the fucking Hungry Howie's pink box. Like, just chill, y'all.
yeah.
Chill. It's
And it
okay.
did 118 million, so obviously it didn't work. There's prestige on the side of the Little Mermaid. It's probably just gonna be good. I mean, I'm not the biggest into movies, like just like as far as like real specific into the art of it, but like if I enjoy it, I enjoy it. It's not my cup of
Bingo.
tea. But I mean, you know, I would find it hard for Disney to mess up um a live action version of a classic unless um like people just don't like live action. Like there's that. But like the story is already a classic. It's just like flipping a sample that you've heard before. Like it's kind of hard to mess that up.
Lion King
Um,
sucked, and it's getting a sequel. So it's like, like,
there it is.
there's nothing you
And
can.
I'm pretty sure it sold well. or
Bingo.
whatever.
Because
Yeah, so
that's a different generation's Lion King now. So it just is what it is, y'all. Like it's once again, it ain't for you.
that reminds me. That's kind of what was talking about with White Man Can't Jump. Like, because I know that was clearly that's something that you really enjoyed. Though not saying I didn't enjoy the first one, but I was
Oh, we
like,
didn't talk about it. Okay, it was just tweet. Yeah,
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 yeah. Because I said that it the first movie wasn't that good
yeah.
for motherfuckers to be hating on this one.
Okay, so my commentary on White Man Can't Jump is just strictly about the
Did you watch the
acting.
new one?
I did. Hated it. Um, hated it.
Remind me.
I, it's cute. I don't like. I'm starting to like King of Bars.
See, this is for me. This one was like, and to be fair, sometimes shooting percentage be off. So it's
But
like,
yeah, I'll admit that. It's not that I don't like King of Bars. This is a King of Bars outing that I didn't like. I like the
yeah,
majority of his shit. I just was like, it was a King of Bars movie, whatever. Um, yeah, the only thing I'll say is really just about the story was off. I feel like the stakes were a little bit higher in the original, and then
clearly,
the actors like so Woody Harrelson is not Tom Cruise, but he's a long way off from Jack Harlow will never be Woody Harrelson. Like
never.
and I don't even know Cinquil Wallace. I don't know his name.
Yeah,
Um, he's not Wesley Snipes, and
no,
whoever the shawty, she not Rosie Perez. So it's like
no. She was
it's
actually Mike. She was Robin Givens in the Mike Tyson joint.
and see that's the thing because she be getting roles. So I'm like, I don't know, man. It just seemed like
And Tiana.
y'all gotta do more. Y'all gotta actually. This was not a movie that was just a hip hop movie and we threw some hip hop guys in it, or this was just a movie we can throw some people from the culture in the movie. This was an actual movie that hip hop just fuck with, like you know what I'm saying? Like White Man Can't
Now,
Jump is it's an actual
my
movie.
only pushback. I have a pushback. So the White Man Can't Jump came out what 92.
Yeah,
It had big time actors, but were they big at the time?
I feel like Wesley was. I feel like Wesley was, and Woody Harrelson was coming off of like Cheers and shit. Like Rosie was the one that was like the up and comer, but she still had like that. She still was already in Do the Right Thing. She was,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and Wes had already had once again more of the Spike Lee pictures and shit. Kadeem
yeah.
Hardison was coming out of a different world
Different
and everything.
world.
So it's like they were still getting their start because it's not Blade Wesley and Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
obviously is a much bigger star now, but
Hmm.
it's not just taking people and giving them their start basically, or taking people
Yeah.
that's like, you know what, he'll be a good fit to play. He's like a young Woody Harrelson, like not, but he not Woody Harrelson. Like to
No.
me, you would give that to put Timothy Chalamet in that bitch. Put Timothy Chalamet in that bitch and see.
He just don't look like a hooper though.
You don't, and that's the thing, and that's where it comes down to. Is just like he don't fit necessarily the role of the character
No, well,
as
to
much
be
as what.
fair, maybe Woody Harrison. I mean, he was in a lot. He was in really good shape in the movie. So I mean, I guess if you're lean, you could put him in Hooper. But Timothy looks like a stick. Though I'm
That,
not necessarily pushing back up, but I understand what you mean. Like
but no,
somebody
that's
in
that's
that.
just the only critique. That's the
Yeah.
only like real critique. I didn't like the story, but it is what it is. Like I wasn't expecting no like Scorsese level shit. Like it's just throw it on and be entertained for these hour and a half. So the bar is already like whatever. It was just
In
like,
hell.
yeah, it's just like I don't like when they like you get basically, and I guess I sound too much like a movie nerd right now, but you get the spirit of you have the spirit of the movie wrong. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like it wasn't about like these hip hoppers or these like newcomers on the scene making a movie. It was a movie that was just good, and it was like, and I say the movie is not as good as the performances of Wesley, Woody, and Rosie. Them three, they did their thing. Because the movie,
You know
honestly,
where?
it
You,
loses itself in like and after the third act, it's like, what is this movie about again?
You
the
know what?
original Evolution,
What moves me about these movies and or Calamatic, or however you say his name,
Automatic is fine.
yeah, he's starting to like push his name into like you start to see his name in a lot of things. What I'm starting to realize, and I guess this is when I loosened up a little bit, because I'm similar into like as far as the spirit of something. Like I always talk about the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law, like something I always talk about. And like what I'm starting to appreciate more, and this is just me doing my best to not be a curmudgeon or an old guy. Not to say that you are, but just like it's so
I'll,
easy to get into
I am.
that. It's so
I
easy to get
try
into
to remind
that,
myself not to be.
but it's like some of these movies. So I know I was talking to Alex and I was like, so like House Party was one of them. That was
Mm,
one that they redid. Space Jam, that was another one that they redid. And then there's this, right? These are the three movies I chose. And like, so Space Jam, maybe you don't redo just because it didn't feel like a time thing. It just kind of felt like whatever it was, right? Um, House Party, it's not like we've never seen a movie, like a genre of movie where it's kids who threw a party in their parents' house when they weren't there.
right.
Like that literally can fit for different times. So
Right.
granted, I understand why people maybe won't like that, but that movie probably should be recreated every 10 to 15 years just
Absolutely.
because things change. So it's like I understand you may not like it because of the one
Project
before, but
X.
it's like exactly like this is something that literally happens every day and it should happen. This one, once again, probably one that didn't necessarily need a remake. However, the culture of basketball is so much different now and everything surrounding basketball. Let me shut this
Mm,
door before she comes in here going crazy. Um, but I hear my dog running back and forth. But it's like you mentioned one thing, like the stakes not being higher. And I thought about that too. I'm like, oh, it's a $500,000. They're just going through a little bit of money trouble, but they seem to be doing all right. You know, old girl just had 5 bands to give up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't doing that bad. Granted, it was a similar situation, but he was getting chased. Like
that's
he
what
was
I'm
gonna
saying. Like
die.
they were
Yeah.
like bookies after this motherfucker. Like they just
But
deleted
like,
that whole part out of it. Like where did
which I
nobody's trying
which
to
I get it.
kill
So I
him?
was like, because I was waiting for that too. Like, oh, no one's gonna die. I'm not as stressed out about it. And one of the things, the Jurassic Park, I'm all over the place, but like Jurassic Park was a PG-13 movie, and there's that one scene, the new one or the newer ones, when the kids were in that bubble, and there
Oh
was like mad. And I was
yeah.
like, and if it was an R movie, I'd have been stressed out because I'm like, oh, they might kill these
They're
kids.
gonna kill the
But if
kids.
but in a PG-13 movie, because you remember in the third one, they ripped the kid up, like all them
Yeah.
little velociraptors, and I was like, oh, this is fucked up. That's the first scene.
Yeah.
PG-13 movie, I'm like, they ain't gonna kill these kids. They ain't even kill the kids. I'm not even afraid that they're gonna kill the kids. So there was no suspense. So in this movie, it's like, oh,
Shit,
the
nigga,
stakes
I
are
was
high.
spooked.
The worst thing that could happen is that they just don't get the money,
They just don't
but they're
win.
gonna get but they're gonna get the money. So, but like you said, cute. It's like, all right, I was smoking some food. This is a good way to pass 90 minutes.
I
And I was
ain't
like,
mad
I'll
at it.
try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it at all. It's like
Yeah.
it's something to put on, especially all these streaming services. They gotta make something. I ain't tripping.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we spent a lot of time talking about other shit and we've moved quite through good stuff, though. There was another thing. And we talked about the reviewing bombing. This is where we'll just kind of, because it always seems like at the end, we just kind of fly through shit. Those were good stuff. Um, don't really want to get too much sad Tina Turner abuse jokes. We can always push that for another time. But yeah,
Guys,
I thought,
don't joke about abuse, y'all.
yeah, it was
It
sad.
wasn't our generation. It kind of like while we were growing up, but now that we're older, let's not pick at people who have been abused.
Yeah,
Let's not make
yeah,
them like
it's
adjectives
weird.
for. Let's not. Let's
Yeah,
just leave it. Let's leave it alone. Okay. From
okay.
here on out, no more abuse jokes. Uh,
Hmm.
I think that about covers it.
Now here was a good one that was
Oh
lighthearted. Oh, what were you gonna say?
well, because we don't want to be sad, and we'll talk. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you outside.
Uh,
But
okay,
yeah, we'll just move on. We'll move on. I'll send it to you outside.
yeah. So one of the things was I sent you something earlier about I think it was high sobriety. I like when they do this when they give you a nice slideshow and they were talking about Kanye West and his shoe and how it's bigger than him. And I think we talked about this a little while ago, just like individually,
Mm-hmm.
where like it was Yeezy Day
Mm-hmm.
and Kanye was going through back and forth with Adidas and litigation and whatever, and like essentially what you were saying was like Kanye doesn't have fans like Dave Chappelle because you gave me like a lot of shit, and I was like having my car read it because I was driving,
Mm.
and essentially what you had said was like Dave Chappelle when he didn't want us to watch uh the Chappelle show because Netflix didn't want to revise his contract or whatever.
Right.
Like they literally stopped watching it, and to the point where Netflix had to re up that money, and then everything was good. And it happened. It seemed pretty
It's
fast. Like
quick.
it didn't take like a week
No.
for them to be like, "All right, we'll fold."
Right.
Kanye was telling us, and by us I mean the consumer, like don't engage in Yeezy Day, and this was like their biggest day ever, and Adidas knew that. And um, I guess at this point, I think people are, and I don't really see that much of it, but I think people are inevitably are going to be like, well, this means that Kanye won because Adidas is putting out the remainder of the shoes, which I don't personally think it's a 1-to-1, but where's your thoughts
Well,
on them putting these shoes out and what that means and what all it is about him being the shoe being bigger than him?
I think that the shoe definitely is bigger than him, but once again, like I think that's some of Kanye's own doing, and his. I guess really it's what happens. You dismiss your core fans, and it didn't have anything to do with shoes. You dismissed your core fans, which is black people. You dismissed us when you did the whole slavery was a choice thing, doubled down on it, went on an apology tour, blah blah blah. Just everything that he's been doing over the last maybe almost 10 years at this point, which is crazy to think about. Um, but yeah, it's just all of those things that you do. You disenfranchise your core following, which is, I mean, we're consumers. So when he did the whole White Lives Matter thing, that was the last straw. And he was already getting to that point where it was like, okay, the people. If you look at the people who are buying Yeezy, who are going to get Yeezys, it's hype beasts. It's even if you, I won't even try to break it down by race, but it's not us. It's not the people that got you here. It's people here that want to seem cool, but it's the people that like that wear Yeezys with their khaki with their khaki short shorts in the summertime.
Cargos.
Yeah, it's those. It's the guys that you know it, whatever demographic of that version of a person is, match that version, match that person to each demographic. It's those people that are wearing the Yeezys now, and the same people who complain about Kim's fake ass, but buy Skims. Those people, right? Uh, so those are that group of people are the people that are buying everything now. They don't give a shit about Kanye West, so they care about looking cool. Um, and that looking cool for each demographic looks different. Looking cool looks like wearing a Vineyard Vines tee with your khaki shorts and some Yeezys. Looking cool looks like just having like a nice little, I ain't even gonna say nice, some stupid ass button down you got and some tight ass jeans with some 350s. Looking cool looks like wearing your athleisure wear with your Yeezy foam runners that everybody hated when he first showed them. But it's not about what you actually like. It's not about, what I'm saying, I want to be a part of, making Kanye boom, or I even want a dope piece in my collection. It's about I want to take part in the hype. So
Yeah.
you've lost what, you know, you've lost it, and you pushed us to the side. The people that were actually controlling what cool is, you pushed us to the side. So it's like it just becomes that thing, like, even and that's where it becomes different with Dave. Is Dave has always had this good, like, his thumb on you know what I'm saying, the pulse of, and not so
He's losing
much,
it a little bit,
not so
but
much now. But
yeah,
he's always been good about having his pulse on, how we feel, how his demographic is feeling, and what buttons to push. Kanye has just kind of lost that, and it's sad to see, but and by no means, by no stretch of the word, has he somehow come out on top as a victor in all of this. I saw something like, whoever seriously follows like the Daily Loud and all those like rap shit, whatever, like Say Cheese, all those like blogs that tweet out shit without links, and all those misinformation sites that keep tweeting out shit like, oh, Kanye won, he did da 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 da, and it'll cite some shit that don't even say that. It'll cite like, I saw one today that was like, Kanye wins lawsuit over Adidas. Kanye didn't win a lawsuit over Adidas. Kanye got a ruling in favor. He didn't win. The case is still ongoing. They unsealed some shit. That's not a that's not winning the case. This is exactly why you guys, once again, like to litigate shit in the public sphere. This is why Tory Lanez won on Twitter and lost in court, because you guys don't actually, like, you're not paying attention. You're not reading. You're not paying attention. Like, the person that is consuming this shoe don't give a shit about Kanye. Because if they did, they would make sure we not consuming this bullshit until y'all make sure he get the rest of his money. Till y'all get all of his
fair.
royalties. It's not finna give you no like, how when he was with y'all, the commission was like 50%. And now it's kicked
Like
back.
15.
It's cut to 15, but that's gonna be the
Yeah,
dub. Like, come on, y'all. Like that's the thing where it's like, they don't care. They don't care. And maybe I'm no better because I'm choosing to just stay away from it at all. But
yeah,
it's just like, yeah, no, no. The Yeezy sneaker is definitely bigger than Ye, but in the worst way possible. It's like
yeah,
it became synonymous with, like, when after he did the White Lives Matter, then it was to say, it's a MAGA hat now. So
yeah.
it's like, y'all, like, this, it's not. And I don't know if that's the framing that they put on it for their article or for their piece, or if that's even where they were
Hmm.
going with it. But ultimately, that's just what it is. Like it's bigger than Ye now, but that's not necessarily a win. That's not good because
You know what? You know
he
what's
don't have any
funny?
control over this thing anymore.
So when he initially did this way early, when we were starting to get excited about the Adidas run, he mentioned that he wanted it to make it the Rocher. And I think when he said that initially, he wanted it in all the most positive ways possible, like
Yeah,
ubiquitous. The only thing is, with ubiquity, if that is a word, inevitably just becomes just unsavory, just to continue the rhyme, and and, and,
all right, well,
and
say
what
it.
and what I mean by that exactly is just like, at first when you saw Rocher, you were like, man, those are so cool. This is a good
Mm-hmm,
price. I need a pair. I could wear this with everything. I need all colors. I could beat these up. They look good. And then at some point you saw them and you were just like, ugh, like, I
mm-hmm,
can't believe I ever put my foot in those.
mm-hmm.
I can't believe that these sold. Why was this a big deal?
I
This
ain't
is
wearing that shit
ugly.
to the
This is
gym no
disgusting.
more.
No, I don't even want to lift in this. I don't want to hoop in these. I don't want to wear these to cut the grass. That's it. And so I think, at least for whoever the curator of cools are, um, at one point the 350s. Now there are some still dope models to me, but like the
Mm-hmm,
350 specifically, which is the one they're trying to ship off because that was probably the one that they mass produced. Um, that to me at this point, like, it's a $225 shoe, but I'm not spending 225 for a Roche. Like, a Roche was $90.
90.
Like, I'm looking at shoes, like, I can ID a pair of Jordans for 110, or Air Force Ones for 110. I got these Air Max 95s here on sale for 85. You know, uh, Amy Leon Dore New Balance that I pre-ordered
Bingo.
for 140.
This is
Like,
exactly what I was thinking.
like,
That's exactly what I was thinking
there's
about.
so many other things that to me is so much more doper and way cheaper, and just doesn't carry the stain
Yeah.
of whatever Kanye was go through. So yeah, as far as a win is concerned, it's hard for me to say that it's a win if in fact, like you said, the people that you did it for don't care that much, or to me, I'll put a demographic on it. It's you niggas that can't get fly without labels. Now, obviously, this is coming from somebody who wears a lot of nice labels, but like, if you can't get fly without a label, then are you fly or is it? I always say, are you wearing the clothes or are the clothes wearing you? And a lot of people, these Yeezys are wearing them, and it doesn't even look cool. Like personally, like you don't look cool wearing it. You just look like a bozo in a pair of Yeezys. You're shining a turd, but that still makes a turd. So, if in fact that's what you want to do and spend your money on Kanye's, I'm never going to judge you. Wear whatever. I just want you to wear your shoes, guys. I don't really give a fuck what else you do with it. Just wear your sneakers. But at the end of the day, um, like, nah, it ain't it no more. It ain't it for me. I got rid of mine. I did keep um the season 3 boots, but that was because I just love Salehi and like he's
Yeah,
just amazing and he
any
doesn't lose.
any Yeezy I have now is completely for sentimental value. Where it's like
Yeah.
I have two pairs still, and I have the first pair that I got because it was the first Yeezy I ever got, and then I have the boot just because I love the boot. Like I
And
was
you went through
coveting.
hell to get that
I was
boot. I remember you
coveting the
telling us
boot.
you
I was
you
coveting the
you
boot. I ordered the boot. It was the wrong size. It was a
wrong size
European.
like at nine and a
Like,
half.
oh my god! Like I went. I finally got the boot. I'm not giving up the boot. I'm not wearing it. I'm not giving it up because it means something to me.
Yeah.
So, but everything else, man, I probably had like 6 pairs, and they were in the rotation.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
had to
a
get some
few
new
used to be
shit.
up here.
Yeah, I had to
There's
get some new
Adidas up
shit.
here, a few were up there. There was one up here. There's a couple down here. Yeah, I got rid of them. But yeah, I mean, enjoy your Kanye's, please. I'm not being facetious when I say
Yeah,
that.
y'all,
Please enjoy
man.
your shoes.
Y'all get y'all shit on.
Um, However, I will say I can't help but see like Confederate flags when you're wearing them, but that's just me. So like, yeah, I'll throw a demographic. People that look like me, if I see you wearing those Kanye's, bro, just know I'm judging you a little bit. It doesn't matter if we're friendly, and we can still be friendly, but I'm judging you a tiny bit. That's fine. I hope you judge me if I'm wearing them. If I'm wearing those boots, and you're like, oh, I see you, motherfucker. Yeah, that's fine. Listen, I do a lot. I'm really intentional with my dollar. I volunteer at what do you call them? Like I don't want to call them soup kitchens, but like Trinity Cafe, they do
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
restaurant type thing. Like I volunteer there. I'm really intentional. I promise you, I am. I'm just the nigga that will pull up to these places in like a Lamborghini. Like I just can't help it. I just love to put on fire shit, but I still do it. So that's fine. Judge me all you want. Emissions is crazy in the Lambo. I'm sure of it. Call me a Hollywood dickhead. I get it, but I need it for my soul. This is what I need. But just like how you judge me, I'm gonna judge you a little bit too. Fair
Just
trade off.
tiny
That's
bit,
fine.
just tiny bit, y'all.
That's fine. But yeah, that would be episode 12. Good episode. Once again, throw the handles out there because it's not thrown out enough. At Bobby Bronz. That's with a Z. I'm sure you know how to spell it. And it's in the title. He's not Patrick Hughes.
Yes, sir. I'm
But
not.
he is.
I am.
But he's not.
I'm not.
Um and I think that'll be enough for this week. And we'll be back next week with more sad shit and more
Yeah,
happy shit.
we got to get to the sad shit. Yes, sir.